Hello everyone. This episode of Drawing Lewis Structures is brought to you by sulfur tetrabromide, which has the formula SBr4. The prefix tetra means 4, and so we have 4 bromines attached to a sulfur. So let's get started. According to our periodic table, we have to add up the valence electrons of the total molecule. Sulfur is in column 6, so it has 6 valence electrons, and bromine is in column 7, but we do have 4 of them, so I have to multiply that by 4, and that gives me a total of 34 electrons that need to be represented in my molecule. Take a moment to look at your periodic table to just check and verify that 6 and 7 are correct, and then we'll move on. So, that's the first step. Our second step is to draw the skeleton structure, and again, the element that's written first is going to go into the middle, and the 4 bromines are going to be attached to that sulfur, and you can put them in any arrangement, although traditionally we kind of just spread them around just like that. And again, each one of these lines represents 2 electrons, not just 1, so I've now used 2, 4, 6, 8 electrons out of the 34 that I've been arranging. Okay, so then we continue on with step 3, which is to give the outermost atoms their octets of electrons. They each have 2 electrons already, and that usually means giving them all 6 more, so that brings each of their totals up to 8. Alright, it's important to note that when molecules and atoms in a molecule get together to covalent bond, they take their available valence electrons and arrange them, and because electrons are mobile, and they can kind of be distributed throughout the molecule to give everybody as close to an octet as possible. Okay, so now I've used 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 32 electrons, and I have 34 that I need to represent. So we've done step 3 now. Step 4 says, if you have leftover electrons, which we do, we put them on the central atom, even if doing so results in more than an octet. So we like the octet rule. We think it's a rule, but it not always happens that way. Some elements, especially those central atoms, end up with more than an octet. So this sulfur ends up with 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 electrons, and that's okay. You don't have to predict when the central atom will have more than an octet. You just have to pay attention to the number of electrons you've used, and if you have any extra, they just go on the central atom like that.